Yeah, I think he's also subscribed to the podcast officially now
Oh,
too.
that was I'm a subscriber. I'm a subscriber.
He only comments
Yeah.
on Facebook, you know.
Yeah, that's better than not commenting, okay? Guys, welcome back to B Tier Pod. We've had like Tiffany on, Kayla on.
Oh, that's right.
um,
You guys had Kayla on last week,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Yeah, it
How'd
was
that go over?
And Tiffany.
it was
yeah.
really fun. Tiffany was a blast. Kayla was awesome.
It was so much fun.
There's no complaints from me. So
Sure.
we
love
were
it.
supposed to have Kato on, but just unfortunate things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
he filled me in about it. That
Yeah.
sucks.
It sucks. So
At least he wasn't in Springfield, Ohio. Some winds, Wednesday and Wednesday.
Any
we had
rain?
no rain.
No rain?
No, it's just high winds. High
Which
winds.
kept you off the water, I'm sure.
No.
No?
We stayed on the water. They got swollen up to
Just
30.
rough fishing then.
Yeah, just rough.
They
fishing.
slowed down.
Yeah, no, it all depends on what docks you're hitting. But the downside is like with those winds, you're constantly bucking into them,
Mhm.
and it just beats you up.
Mhm.
All that vibration hitting your body. Did I invite you to my birthday party yet? I know I did. My wife created a birthday party, and it's like, and I
I
started
don't
inviting
think
people.
so.
And I got drunk in it, so it's like I'm adding people. Like I think I'm gonna. I know. I think this is you.
You had to be
Oh,
on
man.
Facebook recently, so
Yeah, I
So-
did.
you do have him now.
you have me.
Yeah, I think he's also subscribed to the podcast officially now too.
Oh, that was I'm a subscriber. I'm a subscriber.
He only comments
Yeah.
on Facebook, you know.
Yeah, that's better than not commenting, okay? Guys, welcome back to B Tier Pod. We've had like Tiffany on, Kayla on.
Oh, that's right. You guys had Kayla on last week,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Yeah,
How'd
it was
that go over?
And Tiffany.
It was
yeah.
really fun. Tiffany was a blast. Kayla was awesome.
It was so much fun.
There's no complaints from me. So
Sure.
we
love
were
it.
supposed to have Kato on, but just unfortunate things.
Unfortunate,
Yeah,
So-
he filled me in about it.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It sucks. So
At least he wasn't in Springfield, Ohio.
yeah. I don't get the joke, but
Oh,
I know I
it's
understand the
it's
general
Haitians.
reference, but yeah.
It's the Haitian bad drivers.
So we get canceled minute 3 this time. That's fine.
It's all right, man. We're still getting banned from Ghost After Dark.
I cannot believe that. Yeah. So, anyways, welcome back to B Tier. I know I want to work on merch, and I still have to get you a logo for ODG, so don't let me forget that. But I started kind of designing like B Tier bowler caps for.
on
keychains.
3D. Oh, have you made one yet?
I have not.
Okay.
I was gonna test it out maybe tonight or tomorrow. 'Cause
Sweet.
I have the logo like into the side of the 3D print that looks like a bowler cap, but I haven't quite gotten the dimensions right, so I don't know how big it has to be. I don't know anything yet.
Fair.
And then I have to cut a keychain hole somewhere in it. So I'll figure that out in the 3D program and then go from there. But it should be like pretty good. I don't know.
Awesome, man.
I haven't made merch for a while, so it's just like getting back on the horse, You gotta like. But I think we should get a website up eventually too for B Tier, and
yeah.
we'll like do the proper .shop stuff and all that. I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential in it.
Oh,
so,
for sure. I believe so too. The B tier merch is pretty solid.
Yeah, and if we do everything in shop too, it's like we save so much money, and
Yeah.
then we just like pay for shipping and whatever, and we could probably get shirts out relatively cheap for people.
Yeah.
Long
as we can make a profit. It's not
then
about-
eventually we do NFTs, and then we get into crypto.
Is
like
NFTs even a thing anymore? That's like it blew up and it's like, it's no.
I think it'll come back. I think gamers just got really, really upset about it for like, it was the flavor of the week or whatever for a year. And then like, I think if you give it more time, or if a major studio does it, like people won't even think about it. Like if Counter-Strike or like CS:GO does it, like all of their skins go up on some NFT marketplace, nobody will question it. You know what I mean? People will be mad right away, and then the people that don't play the game will start buying their skins, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, there's like money here." So
There's
it's
a
not
market,
big
yeah.
deal. Same thing with like Fortnite skins, if that happens, or if like GTA Online were to ever do it. Nelk Boys had FaZe on not that long ago, like FaZe Clan, thanks. And he was talking about how like GTA, all they need to do is have like an online marketplace, and it's like game over for gamers being mad about NFTs. And I agree. I've been talking about it for years, since like Fortnite became popular. I've been talking about like just put skins on the blockchain. Just do it real quick. Nobody has to know. You can still buy V-Bucks with credit cards or whatever. You just have it on chain, and nobody would know the difference. But they haven't done it yet, so I don't know when that'll happen. But if we're talking like future guys, like predicting the future and being smart about like what could possibly happen in the future, that's like
$1 million
probably
idea coming from the $1 million year.
yeah.
$1 million man.
No, my best idea right now, my absolute $1 million idea right now is Instagram getting into the dating marketplace.
Facebook already, their meta already is. They have Facebook, but that's
but
Instagram already is a dating app. If you're attractive, you get plenty of people sliding your DMs.
Yeah, I
all
mean,
mine are fucking bots or like, hey, subscribe to my OnlyFans. Like, fuck off.
I imagine that they could do it with AI now, but you call it Insta Match, right?
Oh, there we go.
And you take 5 photos.
You should go trademark those domains right now and call it Insta Match, motherfucker.
Yeah, buy it ahead of
just
Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Man, I'll give Zuckerberg a free idea here. I don't know. Talk to me.
Fuck that asshole.
He's kind of cool now. I don't know.
I don't know. He looks like a lizard person to me. So let's see what happens.
I think
his clone is doing a phenomenal job. Kind of like Shania Twain. Like, I don't know if you guys see what she looks like. She looks like trash.
No,
like, I grew up with Shania Twain. Like, this girl was hot. She was a smoke show, 100%. Now it's like you look like a Stepford wife. It's like they really create the Stepford wife program and create in reality. And now it's just it's Katy Perry 2.0.
Let me sip my pumpkin spice iced tea.
You serious? You got pumpkin spice?
Dude,
fucking white boy here.
I went to
white bitch.
McDonald's today because I was like really hungry right after work. I haven't had McDonald's in 5 months probably.
I haven't had McDonald's in years.
I want to say I probably eat it once every 5 months. That's probably my average. Once every 4.5 months or once every 5 months.
You have Culver's.
I know.
But Culver's, you want to enjoy.
Well, they don't really have breakfast there either.
No,
so I was
there
this
morning.
I was there at like 9 o'clock this morning.
After work.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
And it was like 9 this morning. Line was packed, so I was already mad. And I got
work, you fuckers.
Yeah, right. Go to work. You got a job. You gotta go.
Yeah. Go buy my NFTs, please.
Yeah.
Buy some BDE.
So I like got the pumpkin spice latte, and I took 1 sip of it in the car this morning, and I was like, "This is gross." So I don't know. I've sipped some since, but it's not good. Not good at all.
You're just like out of spite. I'm gonna finish this and never do it again.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm at. It's so sugary.
One and done.
Yeah,
exactly.
they call me the one and doneer. But yeah, it's so gross. So it's just like, don't get the pumpkin spice latte. This is word from B tier pod. Not good. But I had breakfast burritos this morning from there, and I just put a lot of hot sauce on them when I got home, and they were okay. The thing is like I've never really liked like the Mick egg muffin that they have. Never really cared for it. I always thought the eggs were so fake, and
they are.
They use the same bad eggs in the burritos too, and I was like, oh, I forgot about how bad these are because they taste like, I don't know, plastic almost.
I had my 3 eggs today.
Yeah, it was good.
I've known. I was like, I'm going to eliminate the meat I've been eating because it's like I use the Yucca app to scan for stuff like that to figure out the nutritional value if it's any worth it, stuff like that. And it's just like a scan is like, this is just way too high sodium. So it's like, nope.
You didn't want to drink today?
I'm already drinking.
Oh, he's already. You guys already poured glass. I haven't even done
I poured a little bit of Hennessy. Yeah, I've never had it before.
We took a little shot of Hennessy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna also go Hennessy.
Yeah. I'm gonna live up my Nicki Minaj days.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Anything's possible. That's funny. There we go. That's the podcast label right there. Anything's possible.
More and more people with the P. Diddy scandal. That just keeps piling up.
Cat Williams talked about it last year? Said this is the year that everybody's gonna find out.
Same thing went.
Well, no,
and Kanye West talked about it years ago.
Ricky Gervais called it years ago when he says like, I don't care. Start calling out everybody on the globe. That's the best. Same his monologue.
Ricky
same
Gervais,
thing with Kendrick and Drake right now. Like,
yeah,
Kendrick calling out Drake.
Yeah, the didless.
All right.
The Ricky Gervais thing, that's like when times really started shifting.
That was right after the Me Too moment when Harvey Weinstein was arrested and stuff like that. Now he's out. Now he's free.
Yeah.
That's crazy. He's out?
Yeah. Well, it's white privilege right there, or economic privilege.
So what, 6 years in jail and that was it?
Pretty much. It's like naughty. Don't do that again.
Yeah, like probably house arrest. He probably wasn't even in prison.
He didn't roll anybody, so that's why he's still alive.
Or if it was in prison, it was like a high security, so nothing happened to him. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
PC, you know,
well,
pretty much.
I thought it was interesting that P. Diddy got in the same cell with Sam Bankman-Fried.
I know, right?
The guy from the
I bet
stuff?
he diddled him for a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sure he took full advantage of that guy.
That guy might have liked it.
Yeah, I think so too.
He was
I saw his girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh man, it's funny because I have like Twitter interactions with that group of people because like I was in the crypto space at the time. One of the only few like Solana devs. There was probably like 50 people in like Discords and stuff. And yeah, I have like Twitter interactions with like FTX and with that group of people. And you know, there's some of them that are still out of jail and never got convicted of anything, you know, and
well,
they're still all
they
in
dumped all their money
space.
in the DNC. It's like you go communist, you get perks.
Yeah,
that's why I registered as a Democrat, but I vote Republican, and I don't want to get audited. You know,
honestly, I might do that.
So I picked up from the guy that we rent the lodge from. He's a conservative, but he's like, I don't want to get audited, so I registered Democrat. But he goes conservative on most of his policies. And the nice thing is like he bought the lodge here, I don't know, almost 20 years ago for like almost $500,000. This place will easily sell the beachfront, or not. I wouldn't say beachfront because it's all steep banks, stuff like that. Yeah. But the docks and the flips that he has, that's easily $2 million right there, just sitting on the water. That's just sitting in the water. They just get you removed every single year. They're charging like almost, I think it's like $3,500 a month to have your slip out there, have your boat out there. Yeah, and like he has 50 of them. Yeah, he brings in cash.
Right.
Just do some quick math here. But like 50 times 3,500 is a lot.
150,000.
Yeah.
No,
we're biggest quick math.
We're
175,000 times. That's a good chunk of change.
Yeah, that's per
I don't know
season.
how many years he's been doing it, but
I don't know where his hierarchy, or like when he started, like what his initial level and where he's at today. So it's like it's tough to really give a growth spike to it all. Let's what are we cheersing to, boys?
Oh man, to this delectable fish we got in front of us.
Yes, yeah. From the lake to the fork.
Not bad.
It's not. It's really not that bad.
No.
Like it's like once you put it over water, once you put it over ice, it just kind of has a flavor to it. It's decent, you know.
Yeah,
it's not bad. I won't go out of my way to buy it, but it's like if somebody like if I have a friend of mine that
I'll bring it.
So it is bad.
Yeah, but it's like for Phil's birthday. It's like I'll go and buy him a bottle. You know,
there you go.
Say happy birthday. Here you go. Here's your Henny. Here's some Tech 9. Enjoy.
Pretty dope.
Pre-rolls.
What do you want for your birthday?
I have no idea. Like
take him fishing.
Yeah,
it's during hunting season, so it's like it's always usually reserved for hunting. And it's like I used to
favorite season.
Yeah. So
told you.
Yeah.
I think if I brought this on the podcast, like I initially wanted to go down to the jungle, but then like when I looked at the jungle, looked at the prices of going to Africa, I'd rather just go to Africa because it's like I really don't need the ayahuasca trip. It'd be fun, but it's like I know what my purpose is.
You might find it.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping for myself a nice Cape buffalo or a giraffe.
The amount of people that get one-shotted by ayahuasca is insane.
Oh yeah,
they come back like ruin their entire lives on purpose after it. It's gonna happen.
Possible. It is very possible. I just know that if it were to happen, you gotta give somebody like 30 days to like really, because you gotta eat clean, because it's like I was talking to my buddy Nick. Yeah, you gotta be really clean for it, because he was there. His first time they were here, there was a stripper there, and she didn't follow the guidelines of part of it. They went to the same one that the people that created Avatar went to, and so she had a real bad trip. She was there for 2 days, and it's like on day 3 she was already gone. It's like they don't know what it's like they're very discreet when it's time to leave and such. So I don't want that to I want that to happen to anybody. So but my buddy Nick's been doing it for almost 10 years now. He did it starting in 2015, right after he got out of off of probation and such. So he just kind of went nose to the grind, man. I helped write a letter of recommendation and try to help boost his points of like to get out of his get out of parole quicker.
Gotcha.
He's never looked back.
Yeah. No, that's I mean, I think the amount of people that just get one-shotted by it is just too high in my book. Because
He keeps going down there. I don't know what he keeps going down there for. I think he's still lost. I don't know what he really
yeah,
going for.
that's the other thing too. Like, I feel like I don't know. Like, I feel like I wouldn't need like that kind of a trip to like know what I gotta do, you know. But I know like if you go down there and you're like a frat girl and you've like never done like anything like that before, and then you just go down there, like you come back and you like ruin your life on purpose after that because you're like, I don't know what the heck just happened, you know.
Well,
But you do hear stories of people like coming back and divorcing their wives and like doing like dropping their job after like a month in or whatever, and then like a year later they're like, I wish I wouldn't have done any of that, you know.
that is the flip side to any drug, but it's a tea, and it's like you do sit down with a shaman throughout your period, your process there. And so some people it goes the complete opposite direction you thought they would.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Like we've all had those friends that did one trip of LSD or acid or Molly, and it just sent them down the deep end. And just like I have a friend of mine, Ross. I haven't seen the guy in almost 20 years. I mean, he was our roommate for a period of time, and then it's like he just fell off the wall. He
Yeah.
stopped responding to people, just kind of became reclusive and such.
Yeah.
That was just doing mushrooms.
Oh yeah, get a bad trip and
Anything.
people aren't the same.
Yeah. Like I disassociate sometimes. I'm like even just doing weed now because I had one bad hit off of a joint, you know. So it's
Sure.
like stuff like that could just like depersonalize you and kind of get you out of the zone and get you away from like what you are, you know.
Yeah.
Not that I would never like smoke again, and I just don't smoke as often as I used to.
Oh, yeah.
Like you have that kind of a trip or that kind of like a experience, and it was probably laced. I'm gonna guess like
It had
PCP or LSD, whatever it was.
I've run into people that it's like this is the first time they actually had really good weed, and it just opened up their brain too much. They just couldn't handle all the information that came through.
Yeah.
And that's usually what happens. Like I had friends that I would smoke with when I was in college, and they never had really good weed from Cali before. And all of it's just like, man, I can't smoke with you anymore because it's like I was just like, I think it was laced. Like, no, it's just that's just really good
potent,
quality.
Yeah.
Weed, And this is not where this is 20 years ago. So today it's like it's even more down to a science. And so this way you can the bud tenders now are able to provide more of a better feedback, ask better questions. And back then it's like you just had to find a guy that actually had some. Man, I lived through those droughts in California, man. It was fucking rough. Trying to find stuff, and I had to go east to find stuff.
Yeah, right.
Where I grew up at a time where it was twice the price when I started in the game. Now it's every day here's lower and lower prices.
Yeah.
So, where was this when I started?
Yeah, you can get a pound of shake for like 400 now.
Oh yeah,
it's like like that is ridiculous.
I remember paying. I think the highest we paid was like $80 for a quarter. And that was expensive.
Have you guys ever seen the chart? Have you guys ever seen the chart of like Coke prices in America?
I have not.
It is the most consistent, stable price ever. Like on the entire market, it's never gone up, never gone down. It's always like 100 or like whatever it is, 80 a gram usually or 100 a gram. But it has like
80 to 100.
It stayed consistent, like within that range for the last 4 decades or something like that. It's like a stable coin at that point.
It's more stable than the US dollar.
Yeah, you could just trade in and out of Coke at that point. But I thought it was really funny because you just look at every other weed prices. You look at every other drug, like you could just get it either way cheaper or it's way more expensive now. And then it's just Coke. Boop. Straight deadline, flatline, all the way
that's
through.
why the cartel got out of drugs. They went to trafficking. So it's like it's more money in trafficking.
That's insane. Yeah. But I mean, it's true.
Get this,
I mean, it is
most of
very
the
obvious.
traffickers that are coming across the border, they're not Hispanic. These guys are white people going down there and but they give them that taste. So it's like it's easier to move things back and forth if you're white, drive a nice car. You know what I mean? You just kind of play. But like there's some people that are just addicted to it because they do whatever. They would like go over like, oh, I'll do it for a couple of trips. But then it's like it's $5 grand cash or 10 grand cash in hand. Yeah. And all of a sudden it's like
Greed.
Yeah, and then that greed sets in. And it's like, and I was listening to, was it Patrick? Is it PBD or was it Sean Ryan? But they were talking about a person that they met. They were doing that stuff, and she's process about ready to lose all of her kids. She's got 6 kids. She upgraded her life, driving Mercedes, buying all the nice stuff like that, instead of like being low key about it and like trying to like
Being
diversify.
flashy. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what gets you. You get audited or whatever. Yeah.
Or just get stopped.
Yeah, you just get stopped.
Yeah.
Where'd you get this?
Yeah, how'd you get this Mercedes?
Yeah, your
You're
W2
a single mom with 6 kids.
Yeah, your W2 does not equal the income it's bringing in right now to afford this SL 500.
Yeah.
House. Yeah.
I joke about it, but I live in the hood. Like I will probably for a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's
until you start buying assets that pay you and such.
Yeah, I think the hard part is like finding a place right now in the current housing market that's like close enough to a city but far enough out of city limits to where I can just go shoot all the time. And like I want acreage a little bit, but I want good internet. A lot of acres and good internet does not come frequent enough. Like unless if we go Starlink or whatever, but yeah. So we'll have to figure that out. But I know right now, just like living where I'm at, it's definitely like it like almost puts me in a position where I don't want to be flashy, where I don't want to buy a nice car because I don't want to park it out here, and like I don't want to keep a bunch of. I do have nice things, but like all of them are like small enough to where I can like move them if I need to or whatever. Like I don't have any like big assets,
Yeah, I get it. I can understand that completely. That's why I'm just basically saving my money up and stuff like that to be able to when it's reasonable. I was listening to a mogul when he's buying properties. You buy one of the Democrats in office because it's like interest rates are higher, but you have less competition. And then you refinance when the Republican comes in because everything's going to drop down. But now it's like we're with everything that's going on. We don't know what's going to expect to happen in the next 4 years. So it's like you could be setting out an interest rate that's going to get you fucked. Because usually it can be kind of a little predictable, like when the next one can happen, when the next plant is going to occur. Now it's like you don't know, and so I was like, now it'd be like, oh, it'd be awesome. Like, hey, I should buy a house right now because like in November 6th, the regime change will happen, and then all of a sudden the Russian collusion happens again. It's like, oh fuck,
right?
Yeah,
we'll march right into communism, or Kamalism.
Yeah, I don't know, like what. I mean, the prediction markets, I've been watching a lot of that because I bet a lot, right? Like I gamble and stuff, so I can kind of do that. But I've been watching.
What have you seen? What have you noticed in the trends right now?
So it was neck and neck for like, 50% Trump, 50% Kamala. It's been going pretty much back and forth, maybe between like a 3 or 4% differential. And like, it was like, I don't know, when Trump appeared on Lex Friedman, he went up a little bit, and then like Kamala did some other rally that got a lot of people, or I think it was like Megan Thee Stallion performed at her rally, so Trump went down, she went up a little bit. It's been neck and neck for pretty much the last 3 months, and then just after the Butler rally, when Trump went back to where he got an attempted assassination attempt, he went back with, I think Musk was on stage for a little bit, and like, there was a. I don't know what it was, but I think they had like 40,000 people plus in the area or whatever. Wow. So like that's a pretty big showing.
Yeah.
But the prediction market as of this morning is like plus 7% Trump.
Wow.
So like that's a huge jump. That's the first big gap we've seen since Kamala became nominee.
And I don't think we'll see the same numbers that we saw in 84 when Reagan won by a landslide. For 49 states were red.
There's zero chance.
That's when the borders went wide open. Come on, we need a buyer election because we recognize that our policies are that shit.
You can blame Reagan for 2 things: never being able to landslide on the Republicans again, and never owning a machine gun.
Also you can blame him for the No Child Left Behind Act in '86. That's what allowed Big Pharma to become immune.
Bush. I thought that was
Bush
him. Policy.
Nope, that happened
before
That's horrible.
Him.
That's even worse.
Yeah, Reagan was one of the worst.
But I think that was his.
I know everybody like.
I think that was that was during a second term, so that's why I think the dementia was in full form or Alzheimer's. They can blame his wife on that one.
Okay, yeah, I'll blame his wife, but I just know that like Reagan is always looked at as some
this
type of like
same,
pinnacle
yeah,
of conservative culture, and like
really wasn't. There was more gun control passing through a thing. He stripped a lot of stuff away. It's like he wasn't that.
yeah, he was not good.
He was able to market well, and that's
Yeah,
why everybody put their blinders on. You know, it's like when Trump was in office, he passed more gun control than
oh,
Joe Biden did these last 4
yeah,
years.
definitely.
You know?
I think people forget about the Trump gun control stuff too, and
Oh yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
know, and I at least give Trump a little bit of credit because he did have like the most federal like court appointees.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's really where like the changes happen, and like all of those like I mean we've seen like Fifth Circuit, Seventh Circuit, Sixth Circuit. We've
Lots
seen
of
like all of those people like basically
Speaking
hark
of this,
back on a lot of like the machine gun stuff and
have you been paying attention to what's going on in Kansas, man, with the machine guns down there?
are bump stocks back yet?
Well, I think I'm not. Don't
I
quote me
know
on it.
full reset triggers got like a federal
I think
Lift or whatever.
lift, yeah,
yeah.
like
Somebody came in
unmanned.
and cracked the whip on ATF. It's like no,
Yeah.
naughty.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like what it was the Chevron deference that really changed a lot of that. Like that overturning, really going to change a lot of stuff. That's why like the court case that's going on in Kansas with the full auto ban, that is going to open up a lot of precedents. And plus, on top of that, the self defense case there, the New York versus Bruin, that case has been a landslide. That is being referenced in a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
especially for protection, two-way stuff.
I'm so excited because I think it was like last year, New York City tried to ban Glock manufacturers, like ban the Glock.
Yep.
And it got fought back so hard that it like reversed some of like even like the auto Syrian stuff, which is crazy because you like don't expect stuff to like retrace that much. Usually you're battling in like the same system or
But it's
whatever.
weird though, when you look at the
We're seeing a
judicial
lot of
aspect, you
stuff.
see a lot more conservative stuff like winning.
Yeah.
But it's like, but on the political side of it, you see a lot more the communism start showing up and stuff like that. You know, but I think that comes down to a lot of the weak beta males coming out, a lot of single parent mom, a lot of single parents, stuff like that coming through, a lot of very little dad. And like I had the conversation with my dad on Tuesday. Like, the dads are not in the homes anymore, and it's like the court system purposely wants the dads to have to pay a lot of money to get the kids and only end up with maybe 60-40. And it's like it should automatically be a 50-50. It's like, and it's like, why do men have to fight so hard to see their kids? Why is it that way? But it's all about making money. It's all about screwing things over. I was listening to Sheriff Grady down there and stuff like that, and what he does to prevent squatters is that he goes to the criminal side. Don't go civil. Civil is all about making money for the city. He goes criminal. He wants to take care of the kids because sheriff, it's an elective thing. He's been elected for like the last 15, 20 years, but he does a phenomenal job. He encourages people to get guns. He encourages women to get guns. You know, it's like guns. Good guys with guns stop bad guys with guns.
Yeah. The stat that they don't want you to know about is how many more people over the last like 4 years have started owning guns that typically have like liberal views, you know? And all conservatives praise that too.
Oh
So I
yeah.
think that's just something that, you know, yeah, like you said, good guys with a gun have to be the ones that
Ever
stop
since
the bad
2020,
guy.
I think there was an average of 1 million+ gun sales every single month for like 3 years straight.
Yeah.
Because it's like people are scared because it's like they need to make sure that balance is in their favor, because it's like when you take all the clips from all the mouthpieces for the deep state, they're all talking about 1984 and Brave New World and Fahrenheit 451. And it's like we're in like I've said this before, we're in act 2 of a horror movie. We're just waiting for that one trigger to happen. Like I was listening to the Elder Millennial on Insta or TikTok, and he was talking about when the Berlin Wall fell, like when the wall went up and stuff like that, to create, like, Russia wanted to create one half of Berlin as a socialist utopia, which failed. But then what America did is like they started bringing in food and clothing and trying to build. And then all of a sudden the capitals came in. They figured like other ways to make different things. So what they did to piss them off is that as the planes were coming in, they released balloons or parachutes, candy. And they would drop it over because the airplane, like the ingenuity during that time in 48 was absolutely amazing. That's why we'll know that communism will never succeed, is because it showed a split line demographic between success and failure. But that whole thing is not taught in school on purpose, you know. And so it's like when it comes down to it, it's like when you have a conversation, was it Charlie Kirk? He actually created a constitution at a 3rd grade level for college students because he has such low expectations that these kids actually know how to do it, because he's only, I think he's only in his mid-30s, but he already knows what kind of lack of schooling that goes on. And I think that's a swell idea to be able to do it, because it's like, why not break it down to that point so people can actually read it and understand it? Because it's legalese. It's not an easy thing to read, even with a college education or like studying it. It's a lot to like digest and like fully understand it. But having somebody to be able to break down what apostrophe means or a comma means, all that stuff like that, all that stuff is like, it's written in legalese for a reason, because it separates the layman to the elites. Kind of like with finance stuff like that. Same thing goes right there.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people are graduating high school with like a fifth grade reading level. That's pretty average right now in America, which I don't think a lot of people think about what that translates to, because that's like people walking into like a Subway can only read like half the menu, right? So like, what do you do with that info? Yeah, I don't know. Like I've always thought about it. Like, I think we do have a lot of misunderstood concepts, and like people can't understand them. So like, how do you? It's probably not a bad idea to put everything into like explain this to a 5-year-old, and that kind of like goes into like a broader thing too. It's like, well, they have like pork and a bunch of bills, right? So it's like they just add in a bunch of language in the bills that doesn't need to be there. When like, yes, maybe the elitists can understand that. That would be like the politicians who are like have lawyer degrees or whatever. But the average person, they say commits like 13 felonies a day without even knowing it. And it's like, how can you have a law, or how can you write laws for the average person if they don't even understand what the law is?
Prison industrial complexes worth a lot of money. There's a lot of big name like Sony, Atlantic. They own they're big shareholders of prisons. Because look at the 90s. Look what they did. They packed those prisons full. Like there's like over 470% increase of life without parole, because how much money it brings in. It's like, why not? Why not rig the system? And plus, it's like you produce all this garbage throughout the 90s and stuff like that. You want to create the gangster lifestyle. You want to create that thug life, instead of like teaching how to actually use your mind, be creative and such. That's I feel bad for folks that's their only belief they had. Because there's people done go there, like when they go to school, like, what do you want to become? Like nobody wants to speak about other than becoming a professional athlete. Like, I want to become a doctor. I want to become a CPA. I want to come up with something that's creative or something like that.
Yeah, no one wants to be a CPA though.
Just people go to school for it.
Yeah, but not because they want to.
It's either that or their parents are paying for it, one of the two. But it's like,
Yeah,
some
it's
people,
probably that one. It's probably the latter. I don't know. There's like, I always like when people are like, oh, I'm gonna like, go do what I want to be, or like what I want to be when I grow up, and then they do say something like, I want to go be a doctor or whatever, right? I think those people should be able to go do that. But like at the rate that we just allow everybody to like try to do that now is probably not accurate, right? So like, I don't know, you can see this now in like Harvard University is like a prime example of this. The last like 4 or 5 years, they've just kind of let in everybody. So it's like,
especially the ones that do not have the IQ or the intelligence to be able to achieve it. You
yeah,
tell that being very
it used to mean
prejudiced towards to the Asians and the Jewish community.
It used to be like very meaningful if you like went to Harvard, like because that in itself, like the aptitude that you need to just be there would already put you in like a top percentile. So like that degree would actually like mean, hey, you could probably get a job anywhere just because you went there and because you like had the connections
just because
from
of
that.
the name.
Yeah. And then like
you
now,
pay for the
like
connections, truly.
Oh yeah,
that's what you really do.
Yeah, but now like you don't even get the same like you don't have the same quality of entrance, so it doesn't even like mean anything anymore.
But
I don't
that's the upset
I
about student loans. Mr. Joe Biden back in the 70s made sure you can't file foreclosure or you can't file bankruptcy on them. So this way, then it's like, well, I got into here, but it's like I don't qualify to be actually in here, but now I'm stuck with this $100,000 loan that I'll be paying for the rest of my life at a 6% interest rate. It's like you watch those videos on social media and stuff, and you see the people cry and break down. They do the math that they're getting fucked.
Yeah.
And then just think if you let's say you go all 4 years
Yeah.
in a Harvard school, you that's $500,000. Like you're gonna have to hopefully your connections pay off, or you're gonna have to figure out some way to make some good money. Cause it's like if you're a C student at Harvard, but you're an A student and in an ESG high school, you're gonna suffer.
Yeah. I think it's like it kind of takes a while for stuff to like permeate, like kind of get down into like the cracks of society. But I'm happy to see people starting to talk about how school, like the original school setup in America, was designed specifically by like the Prussians. So like I don't know, there was a paramilitary group in fascistic in nature, by the way, but came over from Germany area or Austria area,
During the
came
1880s.
here, set up the public school system in like the late 1800s, early 1900s. And I'm just happy that people are finally talking about it. It's been like a really long time for me to start hearing this. When I knew about this like 20, 30 years, like when I was like younger,
When you were 18.
Yeah,
10
when
years
I
ago.
was 10 years ago, but it feels like 20 now.
It's amazing how much the knowledge you obtain can make you age. It makes your soul older. Your body may not be, but it makes your soul older, understanding what's going on. Because all three of us, we have a quest for knowledge. We try to present that to our audience the best we can. But it's like it's just when you absorb so much information, it's like, man, we're fucked. It's like if you're Christian, you're waiting for the rapture because at least that's gonna level set everybody, get rid of everything else. Or if you're poor, it's like, well, then if the economy collapses, I have guns and bullets, I'm going to survive. And if you're rich, well, it's like I've already bought my ticket out of here. So
Yeah. The thing is like a lot of it is a lot of like what we're going through. We talked about this with Tiffany on Monday last week.
okay,
And Kayla, but we talked about a lot of like how this kind of current pandemic or this current like ecological disaster is very mental based. It's very mental health based, right?
oh yeah, the World
It's
War
like
III is all psychological.
it's like a psychological Black Death, right? Like
That's a good line. That's
not a bad one,
blast. That's good.
right? I can't coin it, but I'm sure I've heard it, or I just know somebody out there has said it. Because there's zero chance I just heard that out of nothing. But that said, like the collective consciousness right now, right? Kind of everybody moving towards like one thing, like singularity or whatever you want to call it.
The Borg.
Yeah, the Borg. Yeah, like the communism Borg or whatever.
Well, the Borg is actually successful because everybody's attached to a hive mind, but they all have a purpose that they're all driving towards one particular goal. But it's like they don't eat, they don't sleep, they're just machines with biological aspects to them to make them not look completely repulsed.
Yeah, we have not gone through like the android phase yet, but I'm sure it'll happen. But like that said, though, is pretty much like the big fight that we have. Like you said, it's like the psychological warfare. Like right now, the entire society is either somewhat diagnosed with something, right? Like I don't know what you call it, but you might have like ADD, ADHD,
like they say, it all comes from
bipolar disorder, psychosis, paranoia. You call it something. But pretty much every like it's probably over half of people right now are suffering some sort of mental health issue, right? And that's kind of like the next big phase. If you can get, and that goes for rich, poor, whatever. But that's kind of why you see the entire decline of society happening all at once. And there's not necessarily like an event that happens. There's not very, I'm not like a nothing ever happens person. But
technology, the progression of it. When I was going to school,
it's just a slow decline.
We were all outside. We were all like, we had recesses. We would be outside for 45 minutes a day. And then as I progressed, they stopped doing recess after 8th, 9th grade. Stuff like that. So it's like you didn't get the sun, you didn't get the break of the monotony. And it's like and growing up, it's like we didn't have we had Sega. We had but it's like you didn't have the ability to save your work. It's like if you died, you died. You had to start over. So it's like, well, that encouraged you
coins
to put down the controller and you go outside. It's like I grew up with the street lights come on, dinner get ready, come on home. Nowadays it's like we have so many pedophiles out there. I don't want to risk having my daughter out there because I don't know when's going to come around. And
Jesus, man, that's
the real. There's so many scary people out there that we've allowed not to get put under. There's a kid that always pops up on lacrosse mugshots. I'm not gonna mention his name because he's below 18. But I think what's going on in his home life that I think he's getting molested, and by catching charges, pulls him out of
Gets
that
him
situation.
away from that situation.
Yeah, and like I've listened to this other people that are in their 40s that had abuse in their childhood home, is that they would go catch charges, they'd be on probation, the abuse would stop.
Yeah.
They'll be on parole for 12 months.
Then PO has to stop by.
Yeah.
At random
You have
times.
like CPS kind of random,
Yeah. And it's like the second
I never even thought about that.
And he was talking about like the second that he was off of probation, the abuse immediately started.
Yeah.
Right back. It's like the second he was done that night.
Yeah, right back. Yeah.
And it's like, so then
how do you get somebody like that out of that household? Like, you know what I mean?
Because he's going after, this is coming from a man's perspective, but from a boy, it's like he doesn't want anybody to know, or he doesn't feel safe in his home that he can tell anybody.
Right.
That's obvious.
Everybody can be part of it. Everybody can know about it. You know, there's been times where there's like elders, they always have that one weird brother and stuff like that. Like you're like in this case would be our uncle or our second uncle. Well, they kind of keep them. They don't want that. They don't want the drama out there, so they kind of separate them from everybody. But they kind of make them part of it, but they're not really.
Guys, this starts with the family. It does.
It does. It really does. And
it does. Well, I mean, because if it is that rampant, right, and everybody's like, okay, like. The sexual abuse rate in minors is very high in America, at least.
And the grooming starts in public schools. You know what I mean? Well, we've had this conveation off air.
Off air. We've talked about it.
And it's like, but it shows that public schools are introducing this stuff, and it's creating bad behavior behind the parents' eyes.
It starts with the family. So, like, you probably, if you know somebody's doing that, you have to excommunicate them from your family pod. You have to get them away from your nieces. You have to get them away from your nephews. You have to get them away from the family table. And it's so hard to like actually do it and just leave them in the back room. You know what I mean? Because like that's what families do. They're like, oh, like, he doesn't actually mean that. Like it.
No, if that happened, I'm leaving them in a ditch.
Yeah.
Like
the older I get,
kill your local pedo. Like that used to be a thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I'm gonna put that back on shirts. I'm wear that around.
We used to put we used to burn them at the stake.
I'm gonna put that on the back of B-tier shirts.
In the public.
Hunt your local pedophile
in the public square.
Kill your local pedophile.
But
it's good guest we should have.
I don't know. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
A good guest. If you want to have a guest, it has to be remote because lives in Arizona. But Marcus Torgerson, phenomenal guy. He goes around the world, teaches Krav Maga, but he is a survivor of abuse and stuff like that. And I was talking about my two cousins, like the polar opposite. One set of parents want to ignore it and hush it down. The other parents want to address it, get their daughter help. One daughter's flourishing, the other daughter's suffering. Lost her daughter, job to job.
The one that's not talking about is suffering, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Therapy's not working.
Can I drink more of this? Yeah, go. Yeah. So that's where it comes down with the families. Like one half of the family is like they want to protect the bad guy, and the other families wants to like put him in jail. So he's in jail for life now. But but I brought that up to him, and he felt comfortable enough to talk about it, and it was a really good podcast afterwards because we talked about all that stuff. And he has on his merch store hunt your local pedophile. And now it's just kind of coming all together and stuff like that. So it's like that whole, with everything that's been going on, it really shows that we really need to do bad things to these bad people, because it's like with a dog, if the dog bites you, you're going to put it down. Why can't we do that to a pedophile?
Right.
But they're a protected class. They're easy to make money off of.
You have to have them dead to rights. And I think that's something that a lot of people agree on. Yes. Yeah, I think we were like witch hunting early on in those years.
Because we don't have
and that's
electronic.
We
have breadcrumbs.
Well, we have DNA evidence now and everything. Yeah. I think what we were doing
everywhere.
I think what we were doing for the longest time was like we were over penalizing, I guess, to the extent of like now that they are protected, because it's like we were over
off with this head.
Like we were over the top
with
it.
The alphabet, but they're the ones that are kind of going. But you talk to the old school. You talk to the old school gays. They feel bad for what they did because it's like they fought to achieve.
Oh, it's like alphabet. Okay, alphabet agencies like a CIA, FBI. Because you're probably right along that too. Like, wasn't there like a huge internet sting a while ago where the FBI busted the CIA or vice versa on like a pedophilia website?
Could possibly have been that
There
way.
was a huge story break a while ago. I think it was like Vice who broke it, but it was like the FBI like investigated this like pedophilia hosting website, and it ended up being the CIA, and they like couldn't bring them down because it was the CIA doing it. It's like what's even happening at that point? Like they're hosting it for too long. Like you gotta cut that stuff off, like
or at least let
a
everyone
week
know.
in. Yeah.
Hey, we're running this week.
Yeah. Maybe put it on a bulletin board, like something. I don't know.
Have my boss talk to your boss.
Yeah, right. Just send the memo. Just send it.
But dude, like the CIA is like so secretive too. Like there's so many intra things that the FBI has cracked, and they've been like, oh shoot, like because it's so compartmentalized. Like the entire government has been run like that for so long, and that's why like when FEMA can't get the funding, it's because it's going to Lebanon or Ukraine or Israel.
Well, do you hear what's going on with FEMA right now?
You can't get the funding right to FEMA because of how like the American public takes it at face value, and they're like, okay, you just sent $170 million to Lebanon. Why can we not get $750 not being a loan sent to direct American citizens?
I was just going to say that.
You have to apply for,
You have to apply for it, they have to pay it back.
Yeah.
It's only,
but
they're doing the same thing they did in Maui to the people there.
I think this is gonna be our breaking point. I'm like happy to see this happen in real time because it's like it's so funny. It's just
the
like
powers
it's hilarious.
that be, Miss Kamala Harris has not stepped
They're
forward.
overplaying their hand, and I don't think they understand what it means to be like the general American when you have money being sent overseas, being approved the day of, and you have such an ecological disaster in the South or anywhere, I guess, in America. It happened in the Hawaiian fire too, not that long ago. But this kind of stuff is piling up. And then, if Milton ends up hitting Cat 5 on land this week or whatever, and I know this won't come out right away.
Did you hear what FEMA did to Florida then after the most recent one?
No,
they went in and they shut down all of the debris, like all the landfills. They shut them all down. They turn around, they put fences up to stop people from dropping off the things because there's a bunch of companies that are going overtime trying to clean everything all up. Well, FEMA came in and shut them all down. Within 2 hours, good old DeSantis went through, told the state police, pull them all down, fired everybody that works at them, brought in new people, and now they're open 24/7 just to kind of keep
run it.
Because FEMA wanted them.
I like DeSantis, man. He does good stuff. I don't like everything.
He got backed by George Soros.
I was gonna say I don't like everything he does.
Al Gore. He's
a puppet, but he's part of the machine. But you have to be part of the machine to be anywhere up in like a higher up position. It's weird. It's weird. It's an odd thing, and it's because
society.
Ultimately, we're probably fighting with there's probably about 1,000 people probably in control of most of the things that happen in America. At least I don't know about the entire world, but
I think in the world is probably America's probably like 100, but as global,
you have a lot of de factos that like don't like America. Like I think that's pretty obvious somewhere in the world, but and they won't listen to our elites. If you gave them a bajillion dollars, they won't listen.
Yeah.
But that said, like if you do say that there's like maybe 1,000 people running America, or really like maybe 10,000 people tops, whatever it is, the number is smaller than a lot of people think.
Oh, I think I think there's like 13 families that control everything. That can go back to biblical times for their money.
I'm not gonna go that far back, but because
those families never died.
Postmodern America is like a weird spot. We're in like a weird location. But there's probably so many.
But we're in the biggest slave culture we have been, even when the slaves were as actively trading.
The taxing rate is higher than it was during feudalism. But if you tell people that, they won't believe you, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but
like I said, people are dumb.
When you kind of look at like, okay, say there are like 13 families running it or whatever, it's under 1,000, maybe 1,000 people, whatever.
For sure.
Not all of them agree with each other. So like you might have, like your Elon Musk or like your occasional Donald Trump, or you might have like your, de facto like person from the Avenger group that we're talking about now, Tulsi Gabbard, Ron DeSantis, whatever. But oh my God, I forgot that we were okay. I have 4 different. I'm not even gonna like talk about it. I don't care anymore.
I can take this over and talk about what we're about ready to do about my the last week that I had.
Yeah. Take it over.
To change pace here, it's like so. Last week I was out fishing. It's a biannual trip that I go with a bunch of guys to go to Lake
Fort
Okoboji.
Bay garlic is really
It's
good.
9 of us to go out there. We go fishing for everything, and we go fishing for crappies, bluegills, yellow bass, white bass, black bass, along with pike. Muskie, we don't really go after because you can't really eat it. But yeah, we try to go after all those particular targeted game fish. And what we do is like we go out there and like the October trip is specifically designed for meat. And this year we caught over 600 fish. Now keep in mind these we have an unlimited roll on yellow bass. Everybody limited out with at least one limit of crappies, which is phenomenal. But the upside is like this food that we all accommodated, it's going to feed hundreds of people. Some people like 2 or 3 times because they like coming over. But it's like, I want to be doing this for my birthday party coming up in November. I have like 5 bags of fish I got to cook up. So I still have fish from May. I have fish from last October. So the reason why I can hold the fish that long is that what you do is you take your bag, put your fillets, and you fill it up with water. And you fill it to the brim, and you zip it off. But it's like, as long as you do the same thing with chicken and duck, but as long as there's no air exposed to the flesh, you could that meat can last for a couple of years, maybe 2, 3 at the max. Depends if you're using tap water or distilled water. Distilled water, you're able to get longer because it doesn't have less, it has less toxic. Put it this way, folks. If you're listening,
Jeff, you gotta try it.
So
garlic. It's just a garlic sauce. It's gourmet.
This particular fish
oh
man,
man,
this is 5 different types of breadings in here. So this recipe that you guys are eating will never be duplicated again. That is the garden.
One of one, baby.
Keep eating, man.
I'm good. That was good though. Like,
guys, oh my god, that's amazing. I brought this
over for all of us here.
Well, we can bring it to the girls outside too.
Oh, definitely. I'm gonna back my microwave because nobody likes hearing somebody smack or eat.
I'll do that. I'll edit it out. Oh man. I think we should pick a question from the hat quick. I don't know what time we're at right now. No idea.
We're at an hour.
Oh, it's perfect.
This is really good.
The garlic on the fish is amazing. There's jalapeno, probably like 2 other sauces over there.
Question of the night is: do you believe in astrology, or do you believe that your zodiac sign accurately represents
you? I'll let you answer. There's been a whirlwind in 2024 for me, so I'll let you go.
Okay. I would say that my astrological sign does not represent me. So like a Scorpio or whatever. I don't know if that's necessarily who I am. I would say that astrology matters in the sense of the same way that it does for like when the moon is close to us, we have like higher tides. And I think that like, I don't know if it fundamentally changes people, but it definitely has like an effect on mood. And that would just be the different vibrational pattern that's probably happening in the Earth atmosphere at that time. So I wouldn't necessarily say that like astrology, you know, because people will like attribute it like, oh, everything is in the stars. And, you know, this is one thing I will say. Billionaires follow the stars, right?
Numerology.
Numerology is a different thing than astrology.
Oh yeah, for sure. But numerology is what a lot of them do.
Numerology is like find out the importance of 3, 6, and 9, and you'll know the secrets of the universe, Tesla, whatever. I would say like astrology, like I think billionaires do follow like moon patterns and stuff. So like when you're trading markets, you have to know what other people are doing. So I think that's where it's efficient or where it's effective. I wouldn't say that I necessarily care. I don't follow any of that. When there's a new moon, do stocks go up? Yes. So you just have to look at it from that. Is Mercury in Gatorade today?
Yes.
Yes, it is. So
yes,
Mercury and Gatorade. I love
just
it,
buy everything. You know what I mean? Like that's essentially what it is.
For sure. So
that's gonna be the clip. Mercury and Gatorade.
So repeat your question for me again.
It was do you believe in astrology, or do you believe your zodiac sign accurately represents you?
So I'm
gonna have one more.
Go for it, man. So my answer is yes and yes to both those questions. Now there's been a recent development in 2024. So because now people are starting to read the Ethiopian Bible, recognizing there's 13 months. And so, but it's actually technically it's 13 months, but they want to squeeze
You
another
act like
one in
you
there.
know. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah. So
I'm
what
not
they
really, I'll take it.
I've heard about this one.
So there's a new zodiac sign that falls between Scorpio and Sagittarius. It's called I'm gonna butcher this. Opicus. I don't know. It starts it's Opi something. And so my birthday falls on November 30th. Now this particular zodiac hasn't been really written yet. But if I were to look at my zodiac sign, which is a Sagittarius, I'm a spitting image of it. There's been a few really good books that are written on it that really do a deep dive in. They're written by with the people that have gone through, gotten a PhD in psychology and did research. Like there's a book that came out. Oh fuck, this was 20 years ago. So this book's been around for a hot minute. It's called Sexology, and it breaks down all the signs and it tells you what signs are compatible with signs and stuff like that. But it also tells you what your personality is like. This thing is exactly who I am. It's like everything down to the T, from economically wise to adventurous to psychology, sexual activities, 100% right on the money. And now with this new sign coming, I have no idea what I am, because it's like I relate more to the Sagittarius sign than this one, but it's such a new thing. I have no idea. Now the ones that like revolve around like their entire life is Zodiac. Fucking stay away from those. That just screams mental health. It's like, do not fuck with that shit, because it's like they're always gonna be going like, oh, you're in retrograde.
But don't blame me, I'm a Scorpio.
Yeah, or don't blame. It's like, like fuck off with that shit. But yeah, it's like those people that like live and die by it, stay away from those, because there's so many different. If you're a Christ follower, you know it's demonic. It's demonology at its finest. So there's always a yin and the yang to everything that's done.
You're not worshiping Jesus, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But it's like I watched I had a conversation with Mr. Harold here a few years ago about that whole thing. And he kind of explained to me like what's all going on with the aspects of such would be tying between the biblical aspect of it and what's all going on. It's all demonic. It's all demonology. But now you get into like numerology. That's a whole nother ball game in itself.
Yeah,
like, numerology is very fluid.
Numerology is a completely different science than I think the zodiac signs and stuff. I think that deserves a different episode, and maybe a different question in the hat. So
yes,
let's not answer that one.
I agree. Because
my paranoia friends know way more about that stuff than I do.
These two with this fish batter with this combination, delicious. These, if these are your last ditch efforts, yes, but otherwise, those are the ones to go eat with these.
All right, so garlic on fish or picante?
Yep, they're both. They really kind of complement.
The jalapeno is gonna be a no, I think, from me.
Oh, the picante?
No, jalapeno.
Oh, we get chili spice, which definitely
chili. Yeah,
and
chili's
spicy
no.
herb. It's okay, but it doesn't really meld well for it. So,
okay,
but we're gonna have to do an episode at my house so I can do a fresh fish fry, because I have so much fish.
That might be what we need to do.
Yeah,
we do the fish fry episode.
All right.
So Phil, how about you? Do you think like astrological signs or zodiac?
Well, I'm a Scorpio, and like I feel like I believe it somewhat, because it's like if you cross me, I'm never gonna fully trust you again. So it's like, don't tread on me, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm also like Tupac, to where it's like I still want to see you succeed, just not at my table. You know what I mean? Like,
fair.
I still want to see you eat, just not with me. Like,
wow.
Yeah, I'm the like for mine, it's like you're disloyal, or you wrong me. It's like fuck off.
Well, it all depends on how bad, I guess. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I agree.
There's severities of it.
That makes sense, but yeah.
But like if it's just like a petty, like, oh, you did this, I didn't like that. I still want to see you succeed, just not with me.
Yeah,
like
I get
outside
that.
of my
group. You
know what I mean?
I get that. I'm a big proponent. It's like if I see weakness in you, or like you're someone that should have been swallowed, it's like I'm done.
No, yeah.
Like there's a guy that
if you don't show any common sense, I'm automatically like, yeah, good luck.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm big.
100%. I can follow that. I see that.
There's a couple that we work with that just go, "How are you still here?"
So okay, so so Phil, you do take like your zodiac sign.
Not like,
do you like read your horoscope every morning?
Not every morning. It's like maybe
you do read it though.
Maybe twice a year.
Oh, okay.
If I go to if I go to like the Chinese restaurant or something, like I'll check out like placemat on where my Scorpios.
What's
like,
my lucky
sign.
number?
And then I'll read my fortune, but like I'm not like looking in the newspaper every day for my Scorpio sign. Yeah, maybe on my birthday. I'll check it out every year. Just
Like
'cause
on your
yeah,
birthday?
like, what it's my birthday, I'll check it every year.
Yeah.
A lot of the authors that I've read that do the daily horoscopes are trash. I don't really like them.
No,
Like
yeah.
so, like when I mentioned that specific book, is like I looked at it as a psychological experiment to learn more about things. It's like it was just a way to be able to upskill my understanding of people that are based in certain zodiacs, to kind of learn like what their traits are, to really kind of understand where they're coming from, really learn up on them and study quickly.
Mhm.
This way that I'm able to gauge them and see if our personalities will clash,
Yeah.
or see there's a potential of it. So this way that I'm not wasting our time to be able to try to develop something that's not going to really happen, because you're going to do dumb stuff and it's like, I'm going to do dumb stuff and we're not going to
It's
do it.
gonna
So,
clash, yeah.
you know, and that's where
But
it comes down to.
so do you think that's I mean, because I would say that that's just incompatible, like, relationship stuff.
Bumping heads.
Like, I feel like that
Mhm.
has nothing to do with zodiacs. Because okay, this is the problem. This
There's
is the
also,
problem
like,
with
It
Elsie
also
is a
depends on
This is
sales
the-
chick
it
as
also
well.
depends
I
on how
know,
much you believe in.
But this
Like,
this is the problem, right? So like if you go in with like a predisposed position to how Scorpios interact in a conversation,
Mhm.
it is going to take a different route than what you would have had before. Now,
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
saying it's going to be
you're
big.
gonna
I'm not
come at
saying
me
it's going to be small.
sideways just because I'm a Scorpio. I'm gonna match that intensity. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
and I think a lot of the astrological people, or like the zodiac people, who are like study it every day and like they look at their horoscope or whatever.
Yeah.
I think they're already coming at a predisposed position, which
Well, that's a good
I
point,
don't
yeah.
think. I think it eliminates truth. I think it like gets rid of like because you're
how do
coming
you
in with
actually
a
feel?
you're
Yeah.
coming in with a bias. You're like, oh, you're an
Oh, this is what they
Aries.
told me today.
Well,
yeah.
Aries
I
are
got you.
proud
Yeah.
of themselves, so that means that they're
Okay.
Or
already going to be
Geminis.
arrogant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, my wife's Gemini.
Taurus
Does
oh,
not
that,
make sense.
Hmm.
There are certain
So-
certain aspects that a Gemini, but like getting back to my point, I was like, when I do it,
Yeah.
my ability was like, I want to learn how to communicate with that person, because in this way, then I can work around some of their hangups.
Yeah, but
Hey,
you're
'cause, like-
working with a predisposed thing that might not be accurate.
Well, that's the thing.
Because
like,
it's not accurate.
It's
Right.
easier to listen than it is to talk. So it's like I
Yeah.
just listen to them. I just ask questions to figure out what would make sense, but it never holds true. It doesn't hold.
And that
it's like a
works
grain
with
of salt.
everybody.
Yeah,
If people
that's
talk
the-
about if people
that's the
talk
main
about
thing. Yeah, it
themselves,
does.
people generally like you. It's funny, like I don't know, especially women, but you can just open it up, talk about anything that they want to talk about. Just keep asking them about themselves. You don't even have to spill any info about yourself.
That's very
Right?
true. Or you
And,
make them
and
laugh.
they will keep
I always
talking.
found making them laugh, the clothes fall off.
Hit them with a quick jab, make them laugh. You know,
Insult
obviously
them,
that
make 'em
opens
laugh
up.
again.
And then yeah.
Obviously
Ask
that
about
opens it
them.
up, but just always ask about them, and that goes with any zodiac sign. That goes with anybody.
Yeah, I think
So
that's,
I think
how to think and grow, not think and grow rich, but how to influence others, from Napoleon Hill.
yeah, but even like not. I mean, because you're not influencing somebody to just talk about themselves.
Well, the influence
You
comes in the
think that
back
you're-
end, where you're trying to.
It comes on the back end.
Yeah, you're trying to build a
But-
rapport essentially.
Yeah, it is rapport building, but it
Sales
essentially,
101, man.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's sales, but you're also
Everything is sales. To be
in
honest with you.
in a game that we're currently playing in the game of life. Everything is a sale point. Like you have to sell yourself on sex, you have to sell yourself on the market, you have to sell yourself on like
Have to sell
Your
yourself to a
ideas.
job. Like
Mhm.
a job. You have to be able to interview well, right? So you have
Oh,
to
yeah.
sell yourself everywhere because you're interacting with other people who have predisposed positions and biases and whatever it might be. And I guess like
Well, I've met people
I-
that have biases against my name. Like they
Oh,
don't, they don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
Jeff's. Yeah, it's, they
Oh.
don't like Jeff's because like
they met one bad
that
one in their
yeah,
life.
they- it's like yeah.
Oh,
they-
Jeff, he was the Chad that tried to like get me to do all of
Yeah.
this.
mine was
that,
my
and the
own
other.
like bringing it upon myself. Like just my actions when I was younger.
Yeah,
I got you.
that's like a predisposed thing.
So
though.
now,
somebody
so
will
now
look
they're
at,
decided like that's
somebody
how
will
I
look
am.
at yeah.
Mhm.
Somebody will look at your past,
Yeah.
like your record or
Or like
whatever it is.
Cops do it
they'll
every
draw
time.
it. Yeah.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, you must be this person.
Must be this.
Yeah. And even though it's not true at all anymore.
Yeah.
But it's just something that like, I wouldn't want to bring more past on people that they wouldn't even know that I would know. And I think that's where my issue with the Zodiac signs kind of comes from. Like, I wouldn't want to like predispose somebody to, oh, you're a Sagittarius. You must think this and that and
No,
this and the
yeah.
other. And you might be right on one. The problem with the Zodiac signs in general is that they're kind of vague things on purpose. It's kind of like going to a psych. Like if you've ever gone to like
yeah.
Someone's trying to talk to you.
So
Yeah.
somebody in your
Someone
family
recently
died.
someone just recently passed.
Yeah. So like,
they're
and
guessing
they can
try and hit.
and when they do hit, they can
They
like
follow up. Yeah.
Yep. And
Double down.
I'm not saying that that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like you could obviously draw a lot of like family history out of that kind of stuff, and I get it. Like I understand. Like if I ever ran a cult, I would do the same thing. But it would be like, so like the zodiac signs bring like a predisposition to a spot that doesn't need to be predisposed. And I think a lot of midwit IQ people use it. Because I'm luckily I'm on the left side of the bell curve, so I'm like an idiot, so I see right through this. But it is
idiot that sees through it. Okay. I won't necessarily consider that an idiot position, because like you can see through it.
Yeah, it's an idiot position. Yeah, definitely.
That's a little bit more educated guess. That's a little more education.
I don't know, man.
You're selling yourself too low here. I'm trying to boost you up here, man. Don't sell yourself so low, man.
I would just say, like, I think a lot of like midwit IQs use it, and they're like, oh, like this must be what a Sagittarius is, or what a zodiac. What insert zodiac here.
Yeah.
And I think that when they come at it like that, they're making assumptions about you before knowing you. It's kind of a lot like going to
reading a book by its cover,
like a therapist, right? A therapist thinks that she knows everything when you're like, oh, I had this trauma at age 5, so I must have this outcome regardless of who you are now. And I think a lot of like people who think that they're smarter than people use that as some type of retroactive, like predisposed position that they can have on anybody that they meet, even though it's not accurate at all, in the slightest.
And what we've learned as a collective here is that we just listen to them speak, and it's like the more they speak, they're able to find out more details and to be able to carry on that conversation. Because now you avoid the disposition, but now you're like we mentioned before. So you come in curious, you're going to be able to open up more doors that way, because you're going to be able to find out what makes them tick, what motivates them, and such like that. And that's where you just sit back and that just comes with experience, and that's how you're able to grow as a person. It's like, just sit back, listen to what they need to say. You're not making good predispositions, or what you're finding out is like they may not have had that opportunity yet, and you could be that person that could deliver that opportunity. Right. Like like what our idea about talking about a podcast
beyond the podcast.
Yeah. Because it's all comes down to like, what do I know that they don't? What do they know that I don't? And that's how you really build a bridge and bridge that gap.
Yeah. Now I will say this though, it is. So, like the zodiac signs in particular, you said you had mentioned a book called Sexology.
Sexology, yeah.
Sexology of the zodiac signs, I'm assuming.
Something like that, yeah.
So, like, I encourage everybody at home to read that book.
Oh, so you've
I have not read that book.
Oh,
but I say it as somebody who's like, you should just kind of know how people are operating, right? So, like, I don't agree with communism. I've read the Communist Manifesto. I've read Mein Kampf. I don't like fascism, right? I've read a lot of like Mussolini's text. I don't like that either. I think you should just read how people are operating in the world around you, right?
They're just sheep following the other sheep.
And there's a part of me that's like, oh, I'm just gonna start bringing up authors and stuff. But I'm not gonna do that right now. Thomas Swalwell like issued this pretty well. You should always read like what your enemy is thinking, right? So it's like
Sun Tzu,
two steps ahead.
Big one. Always be 2 steps ahead. So like if there is somebody,
I don't want the enemy to know my next move.
If there is somebody operating in the zodiac sign field, and they're like everything about them is zodiac sign related, you should at least
pinpoint.
You should at least be like thinking in the aspect that they're thinking, and you can maybe pull them back out into like our entire reality.
So it's kind of like our job where we're pulling them out of a behavior.
It's not your job, because I think
like what we do.
Like, that's our actual job.
Our actual job. Yeah.
That's right.
Like being able to think in their mindset.
Of that behavior mindset.
Yes. Yeah. Because if you know, like, if there's like a certain tick that you have gone through before in your life, like say there's like some type of like repetitive, repulsive
my addiction.
Tick.
I'll say that right there.
Yeah.
Like,
perfect example. So you've been through like that kind of like need, want, dopamine
Have to
hit
have,
that
yeah.
they're going through,
Yep.
you can kick them out of that, and you
Mm.
can kind of bring them back into our circle, our reality, whatever it might be.
There we go.
But yeah, so like read stuff about like why people think the way that they do, and then you can kind of not that you have to change their mind, because I think everybody has
Just
this
give them a
like
different point of view.
everybody has
It's
this
all
grand.
perspective. It's all
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah, I hate the fucking virtue signaling shit where people are like, "Oh, I'm so much better than you because I dissected your worldview, and then here's my worldview, and it's so much better than yours."
And then
That's
I'll
not what I'm
dissect
telling
your
people to do.
worldview right back. You know,
And
like,
they'll
I'll just
try, but they
shit
won't
on
be
it,
right
you
because
know?
I'm always right.
'Cause
But
I'm always
I, what I will say is like, no, so somebody who's operating in that mindset of predisposed position to zodiac signs, you'll at least be able to converse with them and be like, well, here's where I'm different on, say, my zodiac sign. So like I'm a Scorpio.
Yeah.
Say like Scorpios typically have introverted personalities or whatever.
Which-
Well,
Usually.
some of them do, some of them don't.
Yeah.
I'm a prime example of not having that.
I was
Okay,
a party
so
guy, yeah.
does that break your worldview because I'm not who you thought I was?
I don't fit
Yeah.
the build, yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
can kind of like talk to them about normal things after that.
Because I can literally go up and talk to anyone. Like, I'm not afraid to come up and talk to you.
and see
Oh, yeah.
Scorpio behavior, that's way different. So
Yeah.
somebody operating in that worldview, you're breaking their worldview a little bit.
Yeah, and I go, yeah, I just broke your wall. What do you
Yeah.
think about that?
Oh, I'm actually a Capricorn, bitch.
No, I'm a
Taurus.
Scorpio, but
yeah. Well, that's
I'm not
what
going
I
to claim
mean.
something I'm not.
So like,
Yeah.
you know,
In that way, yeah, I maybe.
you have to kind of break them out of their shell too. So like people who are operating in like this one weird thing. So whatever book I might actually read that book.
I might
now.
have to- I might have to go
It's
check
easy-
it out.
It's a very
I
easy
think
read,
when
but it's
you,
like 200 some pages.
I think when you like interact with, especially like the opposite sex, and like we didn't talk about this much with like Tiffany or Kayla much, but I think like being
We
able
would've
to
got some
like,
feedback.
I think we
Like,
would have. I think
pushback
I
is
wish we
better
got this
word.
question a week ago. Yeah, and
There's always a potential to having them back.
Yeah, we could
against
still
them.
ask them.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Now since we've discussed it, now we can bring it up and get their perspective on it and see what
Yeah.
where we lie.
Yeah,
with
so we can actually
their
ask
eyes.
Jeff what his favorite season is.
That's
Oh
funny.
man, yeah. We already know the answer though. So, anyways,
Yeah,
Right.
I already know.
but yeah, what I would say though, guys, like always try to keep an open mind. You know, and I don't know. Do we have to end B tier here?
It's
Yeah.
at 123.
Oh, we have 8 minutes left.
8 minutes, baby. Let's go. No, I think it's important though. Like just
I
because
can end a note on a story about my dad. It's kind of funny.
yes. Go.
So this whole last 2 weeks have been a blur.
Mhm.
So was it last week? I wasn't here because my dad ended up having heart attack like symptoms on Tuesday of last week, and this is the first time it's happened. And the doctors weren't quite sure if they should go with the pacemaker or what may be the key to help him get better.
Yeah.
So what they didn't have is they didn't have data points. So it's like throughout the course of that time frame, he went from one hospital to the next, and then over the weekend, it was finally determined that his heart rate definitely needed to have it. So all right, so Monday afternoon, he goes in, gets the pacemaker installed. Get this, it's a very quick procedure now. Like he said, by the time he was the procedure and recovery, he was done within 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Quick. And then the next morning he was released. So that's Tuesday. So I went down and hung out with him drove down on Tuesday. But through all that time, it's like I had my buddy from Arizona come up. We had my buddy from California come up. We had Oktoberfest. We went to the Vikings game. Like it's
Such a
been
busy week.
Oh, dude, it's been insane.
Went on your fishing trip.
Yeah,
like,
that was.
I was talking about
like,
it.
it just rolled.
I was
back
talking
to
about
back,
it with
you know?
Dana this morning, and then we're like, dude, we had because the week before you went on your fishing trip, we had people over almost every night, and then
It
we
was
went to
like
your house on Saturday, and then we came back
4 out of 7
Sunday night.
nights,
We had
yeah.
more people here.
And wasn't that
Monday night
brisket?
we had more people here.
Wasn't that brisket fire? I brought some of that
good.
biscuit back, and I tweaked that recipe that I've been using for venison. So he's had this. It's like where I had the foundation is Worcestershire
Dude,
sauce.
the back straps
Yeah, but so it gets so it's
from like a year ago.
yeah. So I've been
Still
adding
thinking
the
about it.
Worcestershire sauce and soy sauce.
Mhm.
And I use 50% less sodium because it's like
Yeah,
you don't need
yeah.
all that. Well,
and
this year,
game already has that saltiness too.
yeah. So this year I added sriracha to the mix. Ooh, it hits. It slaps, man. Because it's
Was that
like,
on the butt ends or the pork ends?
no, that
No,
was
that's-
the recent cut of meat I cooked up on
Okay, sorry
on
to
Sunday.
interrupt. Yeah.
Yeah, so those turn out to be really good, but it's like that sriracha, you let it marinate for 30 plus hours, so this way it gets the core of
It
it.
soaks in. Yeah.
Oh my
Oh yeah.
word, it is just phenomenal because it's like it's you taste the flavor from it, but when it's cold, you don't really taste it. But it's warm, when it's fresh off the grill, it just it pops. Now let's move into from Tuesday to Wednesday. Dad and I get over to Okoboji. We're second ones there, get everything unloaded. We decide to go. All right, we'll make our lunch, get on the water. So all right, we get on the water. We're fishing. We're doing really well. We're already 30 up for the day. And at about lunchtime or so, it's about 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. We decide to have our sandwiches, and like I'm sitting there fishing and stuff like that, making sure the boat doesn't bang in the docks. And he goes and he bites into a sandwich. Like, motherfucker, someone bit me. It's like he felt like a metal shard got into his gums. And I was going through. I said, well, I know the guy that was cooking him. He was using his fillet knife. Maybe a metal shard broke off from the straight edge, but it's like, but he was using it the way it's supposed to be. So it's like likely that happening is very slim to none. But no, it's like it was a bee that bit him. A bee or a wasp. So it landed on his mayo, and my dad's got bad eyesight. He's 71. He's got walleye vision, so his eyes go like this constantly. So he can't. So he didn't see it. He didn't notice it. But he's also fishing. So it's like he's doing both. He takes a bite out of it, and bites him in the lower jaw on his left side. So we fished for about another hour and 90 minutes.
That's so.
So we end up having. So it's like I think we need to go to the hospital because like this is getting way too uncomfortable. Or go back and take a nap. It's like I don't think we're gonna need to do that. So we get everything unloaded. We head over to the hospital there. He gets in there, gets all checked out. Heart's good. Everything's good. They just gave him an aggressive Benadryl. Yeah. And he just took Benadryls after that. But then after that, he just back to fishing. So it's like, I was telling a friend of mine at work, it's like, this trip was the soul needed this. You know what I mean? It's like, it was good to see all that struggle pay off. And then him and I hitting on, like I was mentioned before we hit record Friday, we had 101 fish. We caught well over 200. Oh, yeah. We just like, it's funny. It's like in the morning, you're a little more relaxed. You're like, I'll take the medium small ones. And then it's like, as the day progresses, medium large. And we started getting the bigger boys. We started getting the large ones. Those were probably like 2 or 3 pounds a piece. Cause that's like the peak yellow bass or white bass, 3 pounds. Yeah. And we started getting those, and we were just ranking them in. Then another friend of our, another boat, they ended up catching 150. And Friday is really the night to be in camp, because it's like, everybody's drinking, everybody's in a good mood, everybody's having a blast. Like there's been some Fridays where it's just shitty, where it's like it's rain, it's 30 plus mile an hour winds. Like when it gets to 35, like 40 mile an hour gust winds, we a lot of us, like, we're just kind of like, we're really not that ambitious, so we'll just hang out in the lodge. We'll shoot the shit. We'll drink beer. We'll drink Fireball,
party games,
hang out and drink more.
Yeah, essentially, it's a way to do, because a lot of these guys is like they first time away from their wives for a while and such. But it's like,
that's
the last big boys
trip. A big one.
Yeah. And it was just turned out to be every day was just a lot of fun. Saturday was pretty rough, just because the winds came in, and like where the fish were really biting at. When you deal with a 16-foot boat with like I think it's like 48-inch wide bow, it's like it's just not big enough. And it's like, and we determined that we need to go ahead and we're going to remove the front anchor and the back anchor, and we're going to replace those winches from Harbor Freight. So it's like last night I'm hopping on Harbor Freight looking at this, like, okay, so we can get a 2,500 pound winch for like $80. Like, sweet. So like, all right, so now I got it on my cart, I got it saved. Now I'm just waiting for that ticket to come in. So one goes from 78 to 50. I'm buying that thing. We're going to buy 2 of them. So this way we can mount them on both ends. And when we were going through the whole process, we're going to remove we have a seat that's in the back there. We're going to move it a few inches ahead. So this way it's a little bit easier to navigate and use the trolling motor and the motor and stuff like that. But the trolling motor is attached, but I never plugged it in. We just forgot to plug it in. And then, so we did all that stuff yesterday. Got everything, like all the big stuff taken care of. Because like the next 6 weeks, he's on light duty, can only lift 10 pounds because they cut right to that muscle. So it's like they put that, it's like both hands have a 10-pound maximum. So it was a good trip. And I found out that the Budweiser Select, the 99, actually quite a tasty beverage. It's like comes in at 4.3%. And it's like less carbs. It's pretty good. I got pretty toasty on Friday and Saturday.
Didn't know you were gay. No, I'm kidding.
But my dad has
interesting.
He's got diabetes. So it's
So it's like the seltzer, right?
So no, it's not
lighter.
No, it was a beer.
Yeah, because
it's just like a Bud Select 55 or whatever. It's just less calories or whatever.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
New Glarus is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. This just has too much sugar. When it's bioprocesses, it spikes too high. So that's why. But it's a pretty tasty beer. But I primarily stick to bourbon because beer just makes me belch. I'm just belching up a storm. Even when we were over all weekend long, we're drinking new a spotted cow at my place, but I'm drinking more bourbon than anything else.
Yeah, bourbon is like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you
Oh
need
yeah.
a couple glasses of bourbon, you're set to go.
Oh, that's the nice thing is you can get to point A to B point 5, and you're just like, all right, I'm mellow, man, I'm good to go. So when you pass out and go to bed, when you wake up the next morning not hungover, because I'll tell you what, driving a boat, high winds, when you're hungover, sucks.
Worse, yeah.
Oh, and you're doing a tiller
Just being
motor
on a
too.
boat hungover just
Yeah,
sucks.
horrible. Bad
Just the
position.
motions, and you're just like, no, it's not the day.
I'm gonna throw up.
And then the sun comes, and you're just like, I quit.
Yeah.
I want to go home.
Now I really
I want to
quit.
go take a nap.
Yeah.
We'll try it again this afternoon. Like,
Right.
There were guys that would get shit faced on the boats, but there's like
I couldn't do it.
yeah, I couldn't do it either.
I don't know how to swim. I'd fall in and I'd die. So.
Okay, but that's a different issue. Just tread
like
lightly.
we all launch from one particular dock, so it's like one person lands there and they finally happen to be their DNR waiting there. Like, and if people have been drinking, like they have, like, they need to get rid of their beer cans.
Is that a whole thing?
They'll turn around, like they'll go to
I've
another.
never been caught on the river before.
They'll go
yeah,
to another dock and they'll empty all the beer cans.
At least have a sober driver to like pull in and out of the
That
boats.
makes
You know,
sense.
like
Yeah, that makes
drive
sense.
home.
That's
But,
why
like,
when I'm on the water, I don't drink. It's like I'm the one around the boat. I'm driving the boat out. So it's like I'm sober.
Yeah. No, I've never
You won't smoke on
been
the
pulled
water?
over and smoke on the
Yes
water.
and no. It's like it all depends on like what if the water's calm. I don't
No,
mind
like
doing
not high winds or nothing, but like just an average day.
Oh
out
yeah, I
there.
will. I do. Oh yeah, or I'll take like a 10 milligram
Okay.
and just kind of chill out. I don't want to go too high because this way then it'll take it in the morning and by time
You're
or-
crashing.
Yeah, then it's like I'm already over it.
Yeah.
So I'm off and it's like I'm sharp, ready to rock and roll.
Cool.
But oddly enough, we have rarely ran into the DNR there. So it's like it's always one of those things we're always mindful
Yeah.
of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's
a good way to
like
end it.
8 minute story there. Ladies and gents, if you haven't already, click that subscribe button, click that notification bell down below. This is B Tier Pod. We are just good enough, but we're gonna make you look. And also, I hope that we can maybe get some like merch out soon. I think that's kind of gonna be the next move. I mean, obviously we don't really have the following yet, so like we're just gonna have a merch store there. And you know, when we hit 1 million subs, it'll be there ready for you guys.
All we need to do is start with one.
One person.
One person just needs to buy something.
Man,
It all starts with one person.
the hardest thing right now is getting people to just like go follow like the long form content because like our shorts are doing
Our
great.
shorts are blowing up.
Our shorts are doing
on
fantastic.
multiple platforms.
Yeah.
But now we also you've also created an audio version too as well.
I have video up on Spotify. But
Oh, you have
dude, guess
video,
what?
okay.
So Spotify won't let me like sign back in to the account.
Weird.
It says that our account is made. So like I go to like sign back in and then it gives me an error that says like it's not the right account email. And then I click like forget password and it has the same error. So I don't know like
They cancel us.
Spotify took us off. Well, I just hope I can get back in because like we already have an account made. We have like one video up at least. So it's the same. We need to be able to like use that platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think by adding an audio platform to it, because I'm not gonna sit there and watch a video. I don't want
Well,
to
like, Spotify is cool too
I'll throw
because
something on and listen to it.
Spotify is nice
exactly.
because you can like throw the so like I don't know. Joe Rogan has like the video and audio obviously
Right.
on Spotify, but you can like throw the video down in like the audio format and it'll just play the audio off your phone.
Oh, that's good. Oh, so you're able to do
Is
first one
dual
stuff.
welding, yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. So,
There you go.
but anyway, I uploaded the first episode on Spotify, so go check that out. But I haven't quite gotten to the point where it's like letting me sign back in to upload more. So
I think I figured out a way
figure
to
that out.
schedule out more on Facebook too.
more than a week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
you can schedule all months.
Because TikTok is like 10 days. So like
okay, they
Kayla's been working with
Well, like,
that.
When it
And
first
then
like set me
with
up, it
Phil
only
over
let
here.
it only let me like schedule a week, but now I think I can schedule out
Awesome. So you can just like go.
I can go.
Do 2 a day until we catch up.
Okay.
And then I know on YouTube side it's gonna be daily until I think I'm scheduled
what
out to like
times do
the
you
end of
want, like,
November.
10 and 2, 10 and 1.
I think
I
you do
find
like
most-
8 a.m. maybe or 7 a.m. and then you do again at like 7 or 8 at night.
Okay.
I think
know
that's
it's
kind of
with-
like where to go.
Yeah,
for now.
that's why I do. I do like
It's like
the
after
8
it's
or
like
9
way
o'clock seems to
after work. Yeah, 8 or 9 o'clock. That works on YouTube
Because
pretty
I
well.
can schedule it whenever.
That's when
Yeah.
our viewers are watching, and we have a very specific demographic. I think we will have more of a female viewer base than a lot of other
Now,
people.
Now that we're having more females.
I
Oh,
can't-
we have Jeff on. We're already
I can't find
that
B-tier
man
podcast.
hunk right here.
I can't find B-tier podcast on Spotify.
We have one episode up, so I guess I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm spelling B tier, I'm spelling podcast, right? It's like I'm not sure
They
what's
took us
going
B
on
tier
here.
pod, maybe without the cast. I don't
They took
know.
us down.
Maybe we did get banned that quickly. I don't know, but I know that I have like emails in my Gmail account, so like I don't know why the Gmail account won't work
You're
as a
right.
username. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I'll figure that out. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Bye.